All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekakwadash. Double honors to my apostles and notice a great millstone who do rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to all you Akim out there pushing this truth across the four winds so we can seal the elect and make it to the kingdom. All right, it's the brother Yurah. Lord willing, coming back to you through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Lord willing to feed the body and edify the sheep in all spirit, faith, truth, sincerity, and doctrine. All right. And as you can see with the title, is America or Babylon the Great? All right. As it is known in the scriptures or prophetically. All right. Is Babylon the Great headed for a civil war? Okay. Is America headed for civil war? Well, the answer is yes. Okay. Prophetically, this place is headed for civil war, man. Okay. But let's go into this because I asked Chat GPT. All right. Is America headed for a civil war? And Lord willing, this is edifying to the body and it feeds the sheep through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right. And it responded here. All right. AI, this Allen Iverson. It says the question of whether America is headed for a civil war is serious and complex. All right. Here's a grounded look at the situation. Okay. Now, of course, it's going to say no. Traditionally, a traditional civil war is very unlikely. Well, it's not going to be a traditional civil war. Okay. It's not going to be a traditional civil war. Okay. All right. Scripture says it's going to be a time like no other. We're going to grab that. But then it also like it says no, but then it says yes. Okay, whatever. It says, but yes, the United States is experiencing deep political and social division. Well, let's grab this here. Okay. Because who you call Jesus Christ, all right? He said, "Am come to give peace on earth." See, Christians, modern day Christians, all right, they believe that Yahweh Shai, or who they call, Christ, okay, is going to come back and then just unify everybody, and we're going to just live in peace and harmony. Well, that's not according to a prophecy, man. Okay, and that's not what the Lord said. It says, "Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth, I tell you nay," which means no. All right. It says, "But rather division." See, all right. Let's go into this word division. All right, division. You see the Greek word there. All right, it means disunion. All right, of opinion and conduct. So it's going to be people are going to be ununified opinion, opinion wise and conduct wise. Okay, their actions and their thoughts. Okay, or their beliefs. You see, a parting. All right, a distribution. All right, disunion. All right, dissension. Okay, so this is what the Lord is bringing, man. All right, so let's go back here. All right, it says America is in a period of tense polarization. All right, it says political tribalism. All right, so the first point is political tribalism. Trust in institutions like Congress, media, and elections is low, and I can't pronounce that word, but it says that is extremely high. Okay, so people are not trusting in these institutions. Okay, all right. They're not in a state of being hypnotized or drunk off of Esau's witchcraft, man. All right, his trickery, his wiles, okay, of the Congress, media, or elections. It says second point, mistrust and conspiracies, okay, which is what they call people that that have their own thoughts and opinions, right? It says a significant portion of the population believes the system is rigged or corrupt. Hold on, let me see. Make sure I'm still okay. Cool. All right. Which it is corrupt. Okay. Third point is it says threats of political violence. Okay, isolated acts of political violence, including the Jan 6 capital R, right, have shaken confidence in democratic stability. Okay, which is more things than that have shaken up the confidence in democratic stability. All right. But their fourth point here is the state versus federal conflict. So even within the government, you have a division. Okay. All right. Right versus left. Democrats versus Republican. See. state versus states, state versus the White House, right? We seen that during the time of what is that what happened in California, all right? You see the mayor of California, all right, going against Donald Trump and his orders, and then Trump saying, "Oh, forget it, we're going to send troops down there anyway because you can't handle the situation. So I'm gonna just automatically jump in." See, and that was state and federal conflict. It says some states are increasingly defying federal laws or setting up alternate systems, IG immigration enforcement, all right? Like those ICE, that whole ICE conflict and the riots and protests or whatever that's been going on. It says abhorsion laws. You see it there, and gun regulations. Okay, all right. Now, right here it says political scientists and security analysts often warn of potential. It's like of the potential of what's called a low intensity civil conflict. See, all right, which it says increased violence by extremist groups. Okay, which is what they're going to blame it on, right? It was an extremist group. See, and they label us an extremist group, which is BS. But we know that they have to falsely accuse us because they don't really have anything on us, right? It also says domestic, T ism right here. You see, which is going to be a FFA, a false, you know what, attack, right? It says, and breakdowns in civil discourse, all right? Not a war with battle lines, but a society marked by instability and fear. See? All right. And the scripture says it's going to be a time like no other, man. All right. Let me see if I can get that. Um, well, actually, let me do this. I believe it's here actually. What is it? Well, yeah, it's here. Salakia, Matthew 24. Whenever it wants to load up Salakia, Baba Kashai, be patient. Look at St. Matthew chapter 24 and verse, let's go down here, verse 21. All right. And it reads, and this is red letter, so you know who's speaking, Yahweh Shai. It says, for then shall great tribulation, all right. So for then shall be great tribulation, all right, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. So it's not going to be a traditional, what it says, what does it say? Not like, look, not a traditional civil war, right? Of course, it's not going to be a traditional civil war, all right? It's going to be a time like no other since the beginning of the world to this time, all right? Let's go into that word tribulation, all right? See the Greek word there, all right, which means pressure, literally or figuratively, afflicted or affliction, all right, anguish, burden, all right, persecution, all right, tribulation and trouble. Okay, like the scripture says, what is that? The book of Second Timothy, chapter 3 or 4. Okay, the first verse. Okay, it says that there should be perilous times. Okay, when you go into that word perilous, it literally means troublesome. All right, you see, burdensome, trouble. Right, you see, distress and straits. All right, straits meaning a position of difficulty. Okay, oppression, affliction. You see, so it says Matthew 24 and 21, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. Okay, all right. Now, before we get this precept here, okay, I want to play this. Well, first I want to show you this. Don't forget about this movie. Okay, remember this movie came out in 2024. All right, Civil War. You see, and this was in the movie right here. Okay, they had these regions. All right, in America. Okay, you have the Western Forces, New People's Army, Loyalist States, and Florida Alliance. Okay, see how they had it broken up. Okay, and that should remind you of the FEMA region. Excuse me. All right, see this here, the FEMA regions. Okay. All right, the 10 FEMA regions. Okay, everything is going to be broken up. Okay, let me see if I can grab it. Yeah, I believe it's here. All right. Right here, Second Esdras chapter 15 and verse 17. And it reads, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Well, because you're going to have these blocked off FEMA regions. Okay. Everything's going to be divided. This is what the Lord said he's going to bring: division, great division. Okay. And it's going to be a time like no other since the world beginning. It's like it's since the world began to this time. Okay. Now I want to play this here. All right. This is from, it says, a sniper. So like an army sniper, or ex-army sniper, I should say, Nicholas Irving, speaks on America having another civil war. And Nicholas says, we're due for it. See? America is due for another civil war. So let's listen to this.
Toward another war right here.
Yeah.
In the good old US of A.
Been preaching it. We're due for one. We're due for one. We're due for it. I'm telling you, we're due for it. I think eventually this bubble's going to pop. That's my theory. I don't think that this can go on for too much longer. I give it like to 2030 before. I mean, I don't think we're going to make it to that far, but we're on a slippery slope towards another civil war. And I'm not going to say I'm cool with that. I think a lot of people think they want it, but I don't think they're ready for the type of environment and the people who operate in environments like that. I don't think they're ready for that. You know, the last thing, and I was talking to my wife about.
They're not ready for it. Okay. All of you Israelites, you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native and Seminole Indians here in Babylon the Great, aka America, walking around being flashy, all right, holding your money up to your face, wearing your pants all halfway off your ass, all right, getting high every day, all right, chasing money and women. You're not ready for a full-fledged civil war. Okay, you're not ready for war. Okay, matter of fact, let me grab something. Yeah, right here. All right, the book of St. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 12, and it reads, and because iniquity shall abound, all right, iniquity is sin upon sin, transgression, heavy transgression, right? The love of many shall wax cold. Okay, the love of many people shall wax cold, man. Let's go into that word wax cold. The Greek word is psycho, man. Okay, psycho. All right, there's people going to be psychotic out here, man. You see, you're gonna have psychos out here, man. All right, you people are gonna trust in your uncles, your brother you grew up on the block with, your mama, your baby mama. All right, everybody's gonna be cutthroat, man. Okay, for what? The lack of food, the lack of security. All right, the lack of faith. You see, it says psycho. All right, for wax and cold, it says to breathe, blow, cool by blowing. All right, look, to be made or grow cold. All right, people's hearts are going to be cold. Look, metaphorically, of waning love. See, all right, people's love are going to be cold out here, man. All right, you ever heard that phrase? Oh man, such and such is cold hearted, man. He was cold hearted. You see, that's how it's going to be out here, man. All right, this prophecy, Matthew 24 and 12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. All right, you're gonna have psychos out here, man. So he's right. People ain't ready for that.
About it. The last thing you want is guys like me out on the streets fighting a war with no rules of engagement, where I make up my own.
Ooh, did he say no rules? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go up here. Where is it? Well, let's start at verse 14. Second Esdras chapter 15 and verse 14, and it reads, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. It's talking about you people. All right. It says, verse 15, for the sword and their destruction, the sword, the Lord's sword is Esau Edom. Okay, it's talking about his troops. All right, the army people, like this guy. Okay. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. All right. And one people shall stand up and fight against another. Doesn't that sound like a civil war? Absolutely. All right. And swords in their hands. The modern day sword is the gun. Okay. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, all right, and invading one another. See, civil war. All right, and invading one another. Why? They shall not regard their kings nor princes. All right. The modern day kings and princes are your presidents, your mayors, your politicians, your aldermans, and you could throw the police in there, man. They're not going to regard any of it, man. Stop, put your hands up. They're not going to listen to that, man. All right. It says, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. See, that's what's going to happen, man. Just like what this guy is saying, man.
And you don't want that. The average civilian's not ready for that. Like, why is Nick doing that? Why did Nick do this to me? Because only Nick matters. Only my family. At the end of the day, yeah, guerrilla warfare is a bitch. And you're my friend one moment, but the next moment, if you got something.
Let me try to select you. Let me see if I can. Right here. 2nd Esdras 15 and 18. For because of their pride, you people have pride, the city shall be troubled, and houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. See? All right. And a man shall have no pity. Like this guy's like this.
And I want.
Why is Nick doing that? What's wrong with you, man? I thought we were cool. You're gonna hear a lot of that. Wait, man. I'm your godfather. I'm your godmother. Don't do that. You see? You're gonna hear all of that. You see? A man shall have no pity on his neighbor. All right, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, the gun, and spoil their goods. Spoil their goods mean taking everything that they own within their houses, because of the lack of bread, all right, food, and for great tribulation. See, all right, great uncertainty. See, all right. Hey man, look, I got kids. They got to eat. So give me what you got. And I ain't asking twice, that you're gonna see that, man. People are gonna be waxing cold. All right, going back to that Greek word psycho. All right.
Or I need to take care of my family. I won't let you know about it. And I'm gonna kill the block. That's the way it should be. That's war.
See? All right. And everybody's gonna be in that spirit, man. Okay. All right. And for those that aren't, all right, you're gonna run into a guy like this. You see, you're gonna run into a guy like this, man. All right, right here on the shores of Babylon the Great, man. All right, so let's what I want to grab. Let's grab this book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 7, and it reads, "Alas, for that day is great." All right, it's like for that day is great, so that none is like it. Okay, it's gonna be a time like no other, like we read, right? It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay, Jacob meaning you Israelites, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native and Seminole Indian people, man, right here in Babylon, right here in America. All right, it's going to be a great time of trouble for you, man. It says, but he shall be saved out of it. Who? The elect. Okay, the election. All right, those that serve Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, not Jesus, not Allah, not Virgin Mary, all right, not Buddha, all right, and not even ourselves. Okay, we serve Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. We're going to be delivered. Okay, Yahweh Ratazah would be of that number. The elect is going to be saved out of it. Okay, as it is written in the scriptures. Okay. My servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. All right. My servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. See, there's going to be a great division, man. All right. And right now, the Lord is drawing a line in the sand. Either you're on that side or you're on his side. Okay. And Lord willing, we're on his side. So we're going to be protected and provided for. But you people, all right, are going to have to run into guys like this. All right. That if you got a tampon, a roll of tissue, some toothpaste, or anything he needs, and him and his family need, he's gonna take it from you, or he's gonna kill you. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it there. Lord willing, this edifying to the body, and if fed the sheep to the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. So is America headed for another civil war? Absolutely. All right, it's prophetic, it's prophecy. Shalom and the Baba Ball.